Yeah, so actually, I mean, if you have time, you have 2 minutes, I'm actually asking 3 very easy questions, but if you're in a hurry, I could just give you the information.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so 3 elementary level questions. Easy, super easy. So I want to see if you trust your common sense, right? So I have 2 images here, right? And the reason I call them images is because one of them is a photograph and one of them is a painting. So I want to see if people could tell the difference. Which one's a photograph and which one's a painting?
That looked like a photograph, and that likes a painting.
All right. It was actually a trick question. They're both paintings.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
Okay,
So this is an oil painting and this is a digital painting done on a computer. So I don't expect people to get this one, but there is 2 reasons why I asked this question. So the first reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right? Because if I showed you an image of me walking on water or an elephant, that defies physics, right? It's not true. Another reason I asked this question is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you believe me that one's a photograph, that influences your choice, right? Exactly. So it's not good to believe people, is my point. Especially if it comes to physics, if something real, right? Exactly. So this next 2 questions is elementary physics. It actually has to do with water, right? Could we agree that water always seeks its lowest point, right? It always goes to the bottom of the container, right? Because I could turn the bottle upside down, but I can't trick water. Water always goes down, water always goes down. That's obvious, right? And it always levels out because no matter if I tilt it in any degree, the water always levels out, So since we understand that simple fact about water, right? It always goes down. Which one of these 2 is upside down? I painted the water blue to make it easier. Since we understand water always goes to the bottom, which one of these 2 is actually upside down? One of them's upside down. Look at both and look at the water. The water's going to show you which one's upside down.
Upside down.
Hey, got it. There you go. Yeah. Because obviously water can stick to the top of the bottle, right? It's obvious, right? You got it there. So this next one's even easier. So since we understand water always finds its level, what would be another word for level if we were to use another word?
Even.
Can we say horizontal? Right, obvious, right? That's the physics of water. That's why water level, the leveling tools, right? The spirit levels. So since we understand that fact of water as well, which one of these 2 is correct when it comes to water level? A or B? Look at the water. Which one represents a level?
Oh, level.
Level, yeah.
I was looking at that.
No.
Okay.
Which one represents level?
Okay,
this one's the obvious answer, right? Could we say that somebody believing the answer was B, maybe they don't trust their common sense if they truly believe this is what level means? Right, that's obvious, right? Yeah. So the real reason, So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you, were tricked to believing this is the answer, even though we know it's this one. Right. You want to know how we were tricked?
From the first question, from the second question?
No. The reason, do you believe the Earth is a ball?
Wait, say one more time.
Do you believe that the Earth is a sphere or a ball, right? Yeah. That's what they teach us in school, right? So NASA, in specific, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So anything with a radius, it's a circle, right? So they do tell us that the radius of the Earth is 3,159. So if we were actually to go out and there should be 8 inches per mile square of curvature. So on the first mile, there should be 8 inches, second mile, 32 inches. By the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. Okay. So if we were to actually go out in nature and measure a lake that was miles across, and actually measure it, like building a level structure over it, that water should be bending away from the level structure if the Earth is a ball, right? Correct. 6 feet in 3 miles. And in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. But we understand the physics of water, and every lake on Earth is level. The lake is contained by the shoreline, basically, so the surface is always level. So this is the number 1 experiment to debunk the globe Earth. So if I was to ask you, what's the number 1 proof that convinces you or that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball?
Just teaching.
Teachers, right? Yeah, that's pretty honest, right? Education. I would say, teaching. Yeah. So I would say another main proof for people is pictures. Right? But again, if an image defies physics, we got to throw that image away, especially if they don't call them photographs. They actually call them images. And the reason they call them images and not photographs is because they're actually photoshopped. So no image or photograph of the Earth from space exists. It doesn't exist. They're all cartoons. Have you ever heard of this topic of people that don't believe in the globe? Have you heard of flat Earth? Right? Yeah. How long ago did you hear about it?
Maybe about 5 years ago.
I actually came across this 6 years ago. That's when it blew up on the internet, and it actually started getting censored in 2019. That's why I'm out here trying to share this information, because if you go online, type in flat Earth or globe light, those are trigger words, and the algorithm's just going to put basically ridicule videos, just people dismissing it, so that you don't look into it further, right? So do you want to take some information home? Do you have any questions before you go?
No.
No?
I'll just
Yeah.
research.
Yeah, definitely. So the reason I share these links is because, again, if you just go online, you're gonna get nothing but misinformation, just bullshit, basically. And this is some real information you could check out, and I suggest you cross-reference.
Okay.
Make sure,
Okay, cool.
you look into it, and prove it to yourself. Try to prove the globe. That's my best advice.
Cool.
And here's my card. There's some links as well right there. You could check them out. When you have some free time, man.
Hey,
Thanks for talking, man. Thank you.
Take care, man.
Yeah, you too. You want to take some info home?
Info?
So, yeah, I'm sharing some information.
Oh, sure. Right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, if you have a couple minutes, I actually have 3 very easy questions to see if you could get 2 or 3. You guys want to give it a shot together?
Sure.
Yeah. They're actually elementary level, so I'm pretty sure you guys could get them too. So the first one's the hardest, and then they get easier. All right. So I actually have 2 images here, and the reason I call them images is because one of them's a photograph and one of them's a painting. So I want to see if people could tell the difference. Which one's a photograph and which one's a painting?
Which one is a photograph?
And which one's a painting?
That's the photograph. That's the painting.
Okay. You guys agree with him? Yeah, right? Okay, so it's actually a trick question. They're both paintings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is an oil painting and this is a digital painting, right? So I don't expect people to get this one right, because obviously, pretty realistic, right? But there is 2 reasons I asked this question. The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you believe me, that influences your choice, right? That's how. The second reason is if we want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right? Because if I show you an image of me walking on water or an elephant flying, you're not going to believe those images, right? Because that defies physics, So these next 2 actually have to do with water, elementary physics. Could we agree that water always seeks the lowest point of the container, right? It always goes to the bottom of the container and always levels out, right? Because I could turn the container upside down, but water always goes down, right? Water always goes down, right? And it always levels out, no matter what, direction I tilt the bottle, right? That's the physics of water. So since we understand that water always goes down, I actually use blue dye to make it easier. Which one of these 2 is upside down? If we understand that water always goes down. Oh, that was quick. That was good. Wow. The youngest one got it first. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Yeah, you guys got it. Perfect. So this next one is even easier. So what would be another word for level? So if we had a level surface, what could be another word to use to describe that surface? Oh, could we say flat or horizontal?
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's another word for level, right? So since we understand that water always levels out, right? And so which one of these 2 is correct? A or B? Since we're looking at water, which one represents level? All right, you guys got it. Yeah, perfect. So it is the correct answer. So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you guys, have been tricked to believing that this is the answer, even though we know it's this one. You want to know how we were tricked? You guys believe the Earth is a ball? Yeah. Right? That's what they teach us in school, right? So NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth, so they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth. So anything with a radius is a circle or a sphere, right? So they actually do tell us that the Earth's radius is 3,959 miles, which means there has to be curvature at every mile. So the first mile is an 8-inch drop, second mile 32 inches. By the third mile, there should be 6 feet of curvature. So if we actually went out in nature and measured the surface of a lake, for example,
Yes.
that water should be bending 6 feet in 3 miles. But we understand the physics of water always levels out. That's what water does, So this will be the number 1 experiment to debunk the globe, So if I was to ask you guys, what's the number 1 proof that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball? Or that convinces you?
Well, I was never convinced.
Oh, you're never convinced? Oh, I'm glad. You're open to the idea that... So have you heard of this topic before, of people that don't believe in the ball Earth?
Yes.
Right, flat Earth, right? I try to stay away from that word because there's a lot of propaganda right now on the internet. It's actually being censored, which is one of the reasons why I'm out here speaking to people. So do you have any questions about this?
Me, not so much. I mean, I've looked into it.
Right. Oh, you looked into it a bit? So I don't know if you knew.
They said you were able to see a statue from Israel.
There you go. Yeah.
Africa.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see that. Exactly. No, that's true. But visible observations, I would say they're inconclusive, even though we shouldn't be able to see that. Because people say, oh, the horizon is the curvature, right? My point is, if we could see the curvature, we should be able to measure it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one of the cop-outs for people. Oh, we could see it. That's good enough. But no, we should be able to measure it. But again, if we actually went out and measure, it's going to be parallel. Water level, that's the number 1 tool for measuring horizontal. That's what they use in construction, every day. It doesn't change. That's the physics of water, That's the number 1 proof to debunk the globe, basically, this experiment. So I'm actually sharing information because I came across this in 2016, and it's being censored online since like 2019. So when you go online on Google or YouTube, type in, you're gonna get propaganda, just people talking shit, literally, so that people don't look into this. You know, you guys understand this very simple, you know, because they haven't been brainwashed as the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? So I actually have some information I'm sharing, and maybe you could cross-reference. You know, you want to take some home? You maybe check it out.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Free information. You guys could check it out. And then, do you have any questions before you go? I mean, that you might want to ask me?
No,
Those are the 6 main proofs, by the way, right there, and with some links. You could check it out again. Cross-reference.
I actually do. If people have questions, I do my research.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
If
That's
I
good.
have a question, I do my research.
There you go. There you go.
And you find there's not a lot of answers.
Exactly. Here, here's my card as well. I have a YouTube channel right there. You could check it out when you have some free time.
All right,
Yeah, man. Thanks for talking to me, man.
All right, you have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel?
I actually do, yeah. But yeah, so I have 3 very easy questions.
Okay.
And then I want to see if you could get 2 of 3, right?
Sounds
So the first one's the hardest, and then they get easier.
Good.
So I have 2 images, and the reason I call them images because one of them's a photograph and one of them's a painting.
Okay.
So which one is the photograph?
Which one's the photograph? Which one's the painting?
Yep.
Oh, that's rough. This one's the painting.
Okay, and do you think this is a photograph?
Oh, they're both photographs.
You think they're both photographs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You're
mean,
the fir-
that's rough.
Right.
Like, the neckline is what makes me feel like this might be a painting, and the forehead and hair makes me feel like this one might be a painting.
Right,
but
right.
Both of them look like photographs.
Okay, cool. No,
obviously.
no, that's fine.
They get the gloss correct.
Okay, no, you almost got it. Actually,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a trick question, but they're
They're-
both paintings.
they're both paintings? That's really good, whoever painted them.
Oil painting and digital painting.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I don't expect people to get this one, but there is 2 questions, 2 reasons why I asked this question.
Uh-huh.
The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? But
Okay.
you didn't believe me, right?
No, I
which
mean,
is
like-
good.
like-
Which leads me to the second
Okay.
reason I asked this question. If you want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right?
No.
Yeah, because if I show you an image of me walking on water or an elephant flying,
yeah,
you're not
of
gonna
course.
believe those images,
Of course,
right? They're
yeah.
obvious. So these next 2 questions actually have to do with elementary physics. So water in specific. Could we agree that once water is contained, it always seeks the bottom of the container, right?
Gravity's pulling it down.
So if I turn it upside down, always goes down, right? Water.
As long as gravity's active. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In comparison to the container holding.
Sure. So since we understand that water always seeks its lowest point, in other words, the bottom, I actually painted the water blue to make it easier. Which one of these 2 is upside down?
Which one of the 2 is upside down?
Yeah. Since we understand water always goes to the
Okay,
bottom.
well, for referring to the last ones, more often than not, you probably have pressure up here, and both of them are right side up.
You think both of them are? So you think the water can stick to the top of the container?
Yeah, with the appropriate suction.
No, but there's no suction going on. It's just 2 bottles with water in them. And I took one of them upside down. I actually took these. So one of them is actually upside down.
One
so
of
if you
them is actually
yes,
upside down?
Yes. So if you had to go with your common sense, which one is upside down? If water always seeks the bottom of the container, which one is upside down?
Well, I guess that would depend if this is the floor or ceiling.
Well, we got to look at the water. The water is what's going to show us
The water is what shows us.
which one's upside down. If we understand water always goes to the bottom of the container, which one is in the bottom of
Well, it doesn't always go to the bottom. It goes to
the lowest point,
down.
which
It goes
is
to the
yeah,
lowest point,
to the bottom, which is the bottom.
Because this could be the bottom, but if this is flipped upside down, that could be the bottom.
So which one's upside down if you're using common sense? One is right side up and one is upside down.
I can't read the.
No, I use blue food coloring for the water to make it easier. So look,
Yeah.
so if you were looking at the water, if you had to go with your common sense or gut feeling, which one is upside down?
No, it's not making sense to me.
Not making sense to you?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there. I feel like there's so many other variables that you would need to understand.
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell.
Like if you're talking about, so you're saying which bottle is upside
Which
down?
bottle is actually, or image, basically, or
Which image is upside down?
which image is upside down?
Both bottles, if this is the floor, are technically right side up.
Which image is upside down? I guess if that's how you understand it.
Okay, which image is upside down?
Yeah. And water will be our reference point to tell us which one's upside down. I had a 6-year-old get it right like in
Really?
a second. Yeah.
This is like the bus thing, where like 6-year-olds know which side the bus is, what side the door is on.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't tell.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
Go ahead,
This one's
explain.
upside down.
Okay.
So the way I took this one, I held this bin on the ceiling and I took a picture like this.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can't make the water stick to the top of the bottle.
Well, I mean, Suction could.
But let's say there's no suction.
Yeah,
It's just a sealed
okay.
bottle. I can't make the water stick to the top.
Okay.
It's impossible if if it's sealed, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
Right, that's obvious, right?
Okay.
Could we agree?
Oh, sorry, I was.
You were
way
overthinking it. You were thinking
I'm
it's
thinking
fine.
of, like all these different things that can cause the water to
Okay.
stay at the top of the bottle, like.
Okay, so this next one, could we agree that water always finds its level?
Yeah. Water finds its level.
Yeah, water finds its level.
Yeah.
What would be your definition of level?
Parallel to the earth.
So
parallel
could
to
we?
our floor.
Could we say, if I had a level surface, for example, how would we describe that surface? Another word for level, what would be another word for level?
Flat.
Could we say horizontal?
Horizontal, yeah.
Right, that's the definition of level, literally. Exactly, perfect. Since we understand the physics of water, water always finds its level. This is the easiest one. Which one of these two is correct when it comes to determining water level? Which one represents water level? A or B?
Okay, there's a lot of
Yeah,
words here.
take your time.
Square to plumb line. So this is
A level structure on both.
a level structure.
So which one of the two represents water level, the bottom part?
Which one?
Which one represents the level when it comes to the water level?
How large is the body of water? Because
This is 3 miles.
then it's this.
You think it's this
Yeah,
one?
the Earth has a curvature.
Okay. So you actually beat me to the punchline. I
Okay.
actually do talk about the Earth
Yeah, Earth
being
has
a ball.
curvature.
So-
the larger.
So you believe that if we were to actually build a level structure over a lake, the surface of the lake is bending, curving?
At a large enough distance.
Yeah, let's say-
it's too minute for us to be able to see it with
No,
with our eyes.
I'm talking about measuring it.
But yeah,
Yes.
yes.
So I don't know if you knew, NASA, they claim to have satellites orbiting the Earth,
Okay.
right? So they claim to know the radius of the Earth. They have to claim to
Yeah.
know it because they're supposedly orbiting the Earth, right? They need to know the radius.
You could measure it through shadows.
So NASA tells us that the radius of the Earth is 3,959 miles. So if we
Okay.
multiply that times pi, we could get the circumference.
Yeah.
So once we get the circumference, there should be curvature every mile. So at the first mile, it should be an 8-inch drop.
Okay.
Second mile, 32 inches. Third mile, they should be a 6-foot drop. So by 10 miles, there should be 66 feet or measurable curvature. 10 miles is not that long of a distance. And there's lakes
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
over 20 miles across. So if we were actually to go build build this structure over a body of water, like a lake that's miles across,
Yeah.
if you ask me, the physics of water always levels out, which means horizontal. They're trying to tell us that level means curve. But if we go out in nature and measure the surface of lakes, for example,
You won't get the curve.
You won't get the curve. So this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, basically.
Okay. You're trying to do flat Earth.
Well, I try to stay away from that word because
Okay.
it's been
Yeah,
mocked
yeah, no,
and
no, no, I got
there's
you,
a
I got
lot
you.
of ridicule going on right now with
I
that
got
word.
you.
So it is being censored. That's why I'm out here talking to people.
No, you're good.
Yeah, no. So this is the #1 experiment. So if I was to ask you, what's the #1 proof that convinces you that the Earth is a sphere?
I would say it's never been important enough for me to even think.
That's
about
honest.
it.
That's honest, man. I like that. I like
would
that.
say it's so minute in my life and for
I guess
moving forward with
I would,
my existence.
Yeah, I would say that's
that
subjective.
It's not even.
I would say that's subjective because to me it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a space junkie. I used to believe in all that shit, but it's all a religion.
Yeah.
So I'm not a religious person. I actually never
I'm
followed.
agnostic.
Oh, I used to be agnostic before,
Yeah.
but this proves that this place was created somehow. Again, all religions are out there to control, and the heliocentric model, the ball Earth, is the biggest religion on Earth because it's based on belief.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually out here just sharing this because it is being censored.
Sounds
Do you want to take some info home so you could cross-reference?
No, it's all good. Like I said, like it's so out of my
understand.
orbit. Like I'm just not even. It's not even in
No
my,
worries, no
my
worries.
atmosphere.
No
Anyway,
worries, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thanks for
one.
talking to me, man. What's up, man? Want to give it a shot? All right, let's go. So, 3 very easy questions. See if you could get 2 of 3, right? Let me see.
What do I get if I get?
Just for fun. Yeah, so I have 2 images here. So the first one's the hardest and then they get easier. You want to give it a shot? You guys could do it together.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just starting. So I have 2 images here and I want to see if people could tell the difference. One of them's a photograph and one of them's a painting. So I want to see if people could tell the difference.
Photograph and a painting.
Yeah.
Photograph.
Photograph? Which one do you think is a photograph?
Well, that's hard. I'm going to go with that
All
one.
right, cool. Right. So it was actually a trick question. They're both paintings. Yeah, so I don't expect. Yeah, this is an oil painting, and this is a digital painting done on an iPad.
painting.
Yeah,
Oh,
so using an app, Final Cut Pro app. So I don't expect people to get this one because it's obviously, too realistic to tell. So there is two reasons why I asked this question. The first reason is just believing someone opens the door to being deceived, right? Because you believe me that one's a photograph, that influences your choice, right? So it's not good to just believe people, if you ask me, especially if it has to do with physics, right? The second reason is if you want to determine something is real, an image is not good enough, right? Because if I show you an image of me walking on water or an elephant flying, you're not going to believe those images, right? Because that defies physics, right? It's obvious. So these next two have to do with water, elementary physics. So once water is contained, right, like in a bottle, could we agree that water always seeks the lowest point? In other words, the bottom of the container, right? And it always fills it up from the bottom to the top, right? Because I could turn the bottle upside down and water always goes down. It doesn't matter how I turn the bottle, right? Another thing about water, it always finds its level, because of that fact. It goes down and it, always levels out. So since we understand that water always goes to the bottom of the container, I actually used blue food coloring to make it easier. Which one of these two is actually upside down? Since we understand water always goes to the bottom of the container, which one is upside down? Yeah, if water always goes to the bottom of the container, which one of these two is upside down?
So one is fake and one is real.
No, one is right side up and one is upside down.
Well, that one's got to be upside down.
You got it. There you go. There you go. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this one's upside down because the water can't stick to the top.
Exactly.
You guys, you got it. There you go. You do trust your common sense. So this last one is even easier. No, that was just the first question. So since we understand that water always finds its level, what will be another word for level? If we had to use another word.
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, right? That's a good one. Could we say horizontal? Right, that's the literal definition of level, horizontal surface, right? So since we understand the physics of water always finds its level, which one of these two represents water level correct? Oh, that was quick. You got it. Will you agree or disagree?
I don't know. I should know that.
If we're looking at the water, which one is level? Elementary level. I mean, this is very easy. Yeah, that's obvious, right? Could we say that somebody that believes this is the answer, maybe they don't trust their common sense? If they genuinely believe this is right, they don't trust their common sense, right? So the real reason I do this is because over 95% of the population, including myself and maybe you guys, have been tricked to believing that this is the answer, even though we know it's this one. You guys want to know how we were tricked? Do you guys believe the Earth is a ball? Or a sphere? Or are you open to the idea that it might not be a sphere? Have you? Okay, so NASA in specific, they claim. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're told. Yeah. So NASA claims to have satellites orbiting the Earth, right? So they need to know the radius of orbit. So they need to know the radius of the Earth. So this is the number they give us, 3,959. So if we were to multiply that times pi, that's how we get the circumference, right? So once we get the circumference, there should be curvature every mile. 8 inches the first mile, 32 inches the second mile, and 6 feet by the third mile. So in 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature, which is like a 6-story building. That should be measurable, right? So if we actually went out in nature and actually built a level structure over a giant lake that was miles across, that curvature should be measurable. But in reality, we understand the physics of water always finds its level, right? So in my opinion, this will be the #1 experiment to debunk the globe, right? So
what's the point?
So my point is that we're being lied to about what this place actually is. So if I was to ask you guys, well, I mean, you're open to it, but what will be the #1 proof or thing that makes you believe that the Earth is a ball, or that convinces you? Well, what about you? What's the #1 proof?
I don't know. Pictures from.
Right. I don't know if you knew though, NASA doesn't call them photographs, they actually call them images. And the reason why is because they're actually Photoshopped. So no real photographs from space of the Earth exist. So that's all, basically cartoons that they're showing us, CGI. So this is a #1 experiment, in my opinion, to debunk the globe, right? So that's why I'm out here sharing it, because it's actually being censored. This information is being censored online. So if you actually go on Google, type flat Earth, that's a trigger word, by the way. So you're gonna get nothing but ridicule videos, people just dismissing it and never talk about this experiment. You know what I'm saying?
So what was the person not to you about the Earth? Like, they say it's flat all around.
It's level, because it's not flat, because there's obviously mountains and valleys. So there's, but the oceans are level. Have you guys heard of the term sea level?
Yep.
That's how we determine height and depth. And they're all on the same level. All the heights. So basically, they're trying to tell us that level means curve. So they actually redefined the word level, because in reality, in construction, it means horizontal, right? They redefined it by equal distance from the center to the surface of a sphere. That's what they're saying level means. So they're trying to say that level means curve, but that only exists on paper. If we actually went out on nature and measure for this curvature, especially water, because Earth is over 70% water, right?
Yep.
And it's actually level. So what you were saying about the end, right? And what's at the end? I don't know if you knew, but there's an Antarctic treaty. So Antarctica, they're telling us it's at the bottom of the globe, right? But in reality, if Antarctica actually exists, it's a ring around the Earth. So that ring is more elevated than the ocean, so it keeps the water like a container. So if you ask me, the word container, I think comes from the word continent comes from the word container, because the continents are holding the waters in. So nobody actually knows how far the Earth extends. That's a mystery. There's actually an Antarctic treaty that prevents people from exploring south. Because if you go south, you who knows what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? So this is the number one censored topic on the internet right now. That's why I'm out here. You guys want to take some information home? Maybe you guys...
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, here you go. Check it out. And then, do you guys have any questions before you go? Here you go.
I do not.
You don't? No problem. Have a good one.
Look at stuff.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.